Hey guys, it's Andrea at VW Family Farm. I just wanted to tell y'all how much I'm enjoying all your snow pictures. The snow is awesome. Some of y'all got a lot of snow, and I know parts of it are a headache going out and breaking water and all that, but there's just something so clean and beautiful and pure about a fresh fallen snow. I just kind of want to take you along and show you what's going on while you're enjoying your beautiful snow here in Arkansas. And just wait, it gets deeper. So there you go. There's your real life view of meanwhile in Arkansas. But hey, I'm not complaining. It's not bitterly cold. It's cold for here, but it's nothing compared to what some of y'all are dealing with. And I do know the water breaking and trying to keep animals warm is a headache, so I guess we'll take the mud. That's what we got. So anyway, while I'm out here today, tonight Ben and I are gonna shoot a video when he gets home about our 2019 garden plans. And we do have some hope and some end in sight for him working 7 days a week, that hopefully that's about to be over and he can get home and help me with some farm projects, because we got a lot of stuff we want to wrap up here in the next couple months before it's full-fledged gardening season, and we've got some traveling we're gonna be doing. But tonight's video is about the gardening plans. But while we're out here, I want to give you some perspective when we're talking about our back garden, our front garden, all those different things. I'm going to shoot some video so you'll know what we're talking about. So let's go. We don't even want that much mud in the garage. It's that bad. All right, I believe Ben told me we have 21,000 square feet of garden. Ben, you can cut this part out if that's incorrect, but I'm pretty sure that's what he said. It's a lot, but you need a lot when you're trying to grow most all of your own vegetables. So when you start thinking about all the vegetables you're gonna eat, it starts to be not really that much space as it was when you're thinking about just growing a few tomato plants. For instance, for a family of 4, and my parents help me too, so we share with them also. We have to grow rows of green beans. We have to grow rows and rows of potatoes to have enough. We usually grow like at least 75 to 100 tomato plants. And those are if they're producing good. If they're not, sometimes heirlooms don't seem to produce as much. And so we have to even grow more than that if we're looking at plants that aren't going to produce as much. Those are 75 good producing plants. I'm fixing to pan around and show you, this is what we call our back garden. This is our original garden. This is where Ben's grandpa had his garden. This has been here for years and years and years and years. It's awesome, rich, dark soil. We hardly ever have to do anything to it, just the planting in it and putting things back in the ground from the planting seems to feed it. It's really healthy soil. So I'm gonna pan around and show you all that first. It's where we originally started before we went off the deep end. Okay, so I hope y'all can hear me because I'm behind the camera, but this is literally in our backyard. Okay, I don't do all the like Google Maps and measuring stuff and all that, but Ben is really into that. And he does it for me, so he just gives me the info. It's a good size. We've grown a lot of vegetables in it over the years. It's not big enough for us to grow everything if we're trying to provide all our food, but it's a good big size for a garden. Okay, so just for some perspective, I've moved out front. That was in our backyard. Now I'm pretty much on like the west side of our driveway was garden at one time. That's when I really started trying to grow all our beans, potatoes, all that. Things that take up a lot of room. When we did that, that's when we made this a garden, and it's done really well for us. But when we put the greenhouse in late last spring, we lost part of this front garden. So it's not near as big as it was, but it's still pretty big. Maybe Ben will interject here how big it is. I really have no idea. It's bigger than the back garden. So let me take you over here. Okay, so this is up near the house. you can see the greenhouse, and then we can still plant here in this ground beside the greenhouse, and then it goes all the way down there to the road. You can still see I've still got tomato cages out. This is where our chickens have been fertilizing it. We've moved them off because I want it to kind of settle down. I don't want it to be too hot when we start planting it in a few months. And this is where our compost pile is. We got a lot of wood chips a few years ago. They've kind of settled down, and this is what they've turned into, along with some other manure and stuff we've added on it. That is we're about to get a bucket for our tractor and spread that all over this garden. But this front garden is pretty huge, but I've got a third one. No babies yet. All right, so I'm walking down this front garden that I just showed you. I've actually still got a lot of turnips and turnip greens growing. I'm gonna show you as we walk. Okay, I'm just trying to give y'all perspective here. I've walked down to the end of that front garden. I'm going down the end of my goat pen. You can see that behind me. That's our goat and sheep area that we built. And I'm going on the other side of it. So let's go over there. That's where I've got my third planting area, and I'm gonna show it to you. So we're probably gonna have to use this for like viney things like watermelons and acorn, spaghetti squash, things that run and take up a lot of room. They're probably gonna be over here. And then the buckwheat can kind of just grow up a little bit with it. I tried letting the buckwheat grow up like even with my tomatoes and things, but it's so strong and prolific, it just wound up choking out my tomatoes and peppers, and it really stunted them and sent them back. And I didn't can any tomatoes last year. That can't happen again because now we're into our stored up food that I'm gonna have to do some canning this year. So anyway, that gives you some perspective. When Ben gets home, we're gonna talk to you inside about what all we'll be planting.
Now I know it's just January, but it's time to start planting. In my opinion, I should have had things growing. Well, actually I do, you know, in the greenhouse, and I have sprouted a few other things. I do got onions sprouting right now, but it's fixing to start getting crazy. And yes, I do start a little too early sometimes. I jump the gun, I know that, blah, 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 blah. When it comes to planting a 21,000 square foot garden, you gotta have that many seeds. We are in here laying them all out and trying to decide what we're gonna grow,
where we're gonna grow
it, how we're gonna grow it, because we're experimenting this year. We're putting down billboards, trying to suppress the weeds that way.
What we call our back garden, so that's been amended with hay and leaves, and then that's where we're gonna do the...
And cow poop.
Yeah, and cow poop. They're off there now, kind of letting it settle down, but we're gonna either let the pigs in there and let them kind of turn it over, or I don't know if we're gonna till it in or what, but that's where the, it left me.
Billboards?
That's where the billboard experiment, thank you.
Brain fart.
Anyway, that is where the billboard experiment is gonna happen, is back there. So we're gonna cover the ground, and let's just start and let's just talk about what are we gonna plant back there. Did you tell me that that was 100 by 50?
Yep.
Okay, or 50 by 100, however you want to say
Same difference. I like drawing it out and kind of planning. And we've done that garden for so many years. We know how many rows it'll turn off. So I've got 11 rows drawn out here on this, hoping that she's going to kind of say, all right, I want this here, this here, this here.
And it may actually do more than that, because I think that's 11 rows when he uses the tiller hiller, which is an awesome little apparatus. We'll link that video.
I will be building a new one this year too.
Yes, he'll be building a new one because ours has had some abuse, and it's just
4 years old now.
It needs to be rebuilt, and hopefully he's going to show it to you all, because we've had a lot of interest wanting to know how did he do that. We actually have people stop at our house and say, how in the world are you making these hills in your garden? It's awesome, because in the spring we get a lot of rain, and sometimes if stuff's not on a hill here and we get a gully washer,
especially as a little seedling,
it's a goner.
Yeah,
it'll just drown. So anyway, we might be able to fit more rows since they're not going to be on hills back there because it's going to be covered in the tarp.
First off, I want to
We'll
see
see.
if you can fill this paper up.
Oh, I can fill that baby up. So in the back garden, that's our original garden. That's actually where his grandpa, that's where he gardened years and years ago. Maybe even people before that. It's a really good garden. It's a big garden for a backyard garden. It's just not big enough for us. So let's talk about what we're going to plant back there.
Well, one thing I wanted to talk about also, I got this Clyde's garden planter when I was at Baker Creek last year. I like this thing. This thing is so handy. You can just slide it out, kind of get an idea when your last freeze date is, and it tells you when to plant your vegetables.
Right.
I use that.
And we actually bought that. I think it was like $5 or something. They'll probably be back at Baker Creek. So
I'm sure
if you get a
and
chance,
I think
pick
Baker Creek sells them themselves.
Yeah,
too.
pick one of those up. I actually don't know if they're on YouTube or social media or whatever, but it's called a Clyde's Garden Planter. I've seen Doug and Stacy give those away before, so.
But I use several different things. This is a thing I got off the internet. It's a seed starting guide for the Arkansas River Valley. Another great tool I use.
This one's from the U of A, so you can probably find one in your area that's for your state. This is actually put out by the
This is what we hang on the refrigerator a lot. It tells you, like right now, it's already January, so you know you need to be ordering your seed, liming your soil, ordering your catalogs to order your seeds out of, planting your lettuce in cold frames, things that you can be planting outside, English peas in January, February, anyway, so on and so forth, and it's got it every month of the year.
So I know we're going to plant tomatoes back there because tomatoes are something that are there for a long time in the season, and I know you know this, but ours, we grow really good grass around here, especially in the garden.
And one thing that's been popping up a lot that just makes me want to pull my hair out, that nut grass.
Yes.
So we're going to cover it up, and hopefully it ain't strong enough to poke through the billboards.
I hope not, but it's incredibly strong and it multiplies. We called it water grass for a long time, if you know what I'm talking about, but it spreads. It produces a little nut underground, is why we figured that out. That's why it's called nut grass, and it spreads. So we're going to hopefully choke some of that out. The sheep didn't even want to eat it, if that tells you anything.
Or the
Okay,
cows.
so back there on the billboards will definitely be tomatoes, and I'm focusing on canning tomatoes. So big slicer tomatoes. I love Cherokee purples. I'm looking to try some new varieties, so I don't have any like super big recommendations for you because I'm going to try quite a few new ones.
But we know our recommendation is Cherokee Purple.
We love Cherokee purple and we love Brandywines. Those are hands down our two favorites. And then I want to grow some paste tomatoes because I want to do like some tomato sauces and pastes and more things like that. And I love to can salsa, so I'll be using like big slicer and juicy tomatoes for that. We might throw in a couple cherries just to eat fresh in the garden, but I hate harvesting cherry tomatoes. I'm sorry to say that, but
I seen some the other day on
really
Kevin and Sarah's video that is like almost like a cluster of grapes, and you just cut the whole
now
thing.
that'd be awesome. But my patience level standing there picking all those stresses me out. I gotta
Except
get
when
going.
you go by and you're going to eat it.
Yeah, but if it's growing out there, I feel the need to pick it, and so it really bothers me to let things just hang there. I'm just airing all my dirty laundry. Okay, also back there, probably peppers, because peppers stay in the garden almost the whole season and grow up in grass again. So
Okra? What about okra?
if we can figure out okra back there, we're hoping we can poke a hole in the billboard and put a seed and hopefully get it to come up through that billboard. A lot of that's going to be kind of experiment. So definitely tomatoes and peppers. We're going to try okra. We're probably may put our squash back there, like our bushing squash, like lemon squash. That's my favorite squash. So we'll be growing that from Baker Creek.
Oh, yeah.
We discovered that 2 years ago. I think we've grown it twice, so this will be our third time. Hands down my favorite. I just like it. It's cute, fun, and it tastes just like the yellow, like crookneck or straight neck squash.
Everybody sees it says, does it taste like a lemon?
Yeah.
No.
It looks just like a lemon. I will also be growing, if I can find it in this huge mound. I probably can't. But it's from Baker Creek. It's called Golden Zucchini. I just really like it. I love it. It's like almost neon yellow. Okay, let me back up for just a sec. I talked about peppers. Tomatoes are still up in the air, and we're actually getting some seeds from Baker Creek. Thank you, Baker Creek. We love you. You really are our favorite, and we love your company. You're so generous. So,
and we are going to share.
And we're going to share, for sure.
Comment.
Hopefully we're going to share with y'all. We just want to do it like legit, so we're still figuring that all out. I'm doing some homestead classes and going to share with some kids and their families.
Psst, it's Friday.
So, anyway, I'm not sure what all we're going to be getting from them, so that's probably going to determine some of what we grow, because this is the year we're trying to be frugal and stick some money back. And so I may not just go through and pick out a whole bunch of, oh, that looks cool, that sounds cool, out of magazines. I might just do what we have and make it work. But here's some of the pepper varieties we already have that we've already grown and love. Ozark Giants. These are Tasuki chili. I don't know.
Peppers.
We're going to make chili powder is basically what we're going to make. And I saw Sarah over at Living Traditions. They're growing ones and making paprika. I got to go back and rewatch their video and figure out what that pepper is, but I want to make some paprika. So I'm going to add to the list. I just talked about not buying and being frugal.
I commented on their video today. I cannot, for the life of me, imagine how these two are not sisters.
Well, that's a compliment to me. I don't know how she'll feel about it, but we're growing this one, Figatelli Sicilia. I probably just butchered that. Cayennes, just because I love herbs. I'm getting more and more into herbs all the time. And then these are just like, I love banana peppers. I love pickling them and putting on salads and sandwiches. Yep. You love those. Quadrato, or I butchered that. We've grown these before. They're huge, really thick-skinned and kind of sweet. We really like these. They grew really well.
If you can pronounce that, I'd just say yellow pepper.
And then this is the Emerald Giant. Really like it too. Every so often, everybody needs a break. Do you agree?
You got one too.
I got one, and it was nice. But I'm gung-ho ahead, ready now, full steam ahead.
Chomping at the bits.
Yes, I am. But I needed that break last year because I'd worked myself into the ground the last few years canning and preserving. So it was a much needed break. Moving on. We've mentioned okra. We're going to try this Bowling Red and this Okra Hill Country Heirloom Red. We're going to try those. I love pickled okra. So if you have a favorite variety that you grow that you like to pickle, let me know. If you got a favorite pickling okra recipe, because I don't have one, send it to me. Email it to me. That would be awesome. Okay, moving on. A few other things we're growing. We're going to try this Meadowlark squash. It's a winter squash, but I already told you we're growing lemon squash. I'm growing lots of greens like Swiss chard, arugula, lots of lettuces. Ben's got a whole handful. I'm not going to go through all of those, but these will probably be in the back because he'll sprout us some plants and they'll be easy to pop into that billboard material. This is my absolute, this one or this one?
No, this is what we've always planted.
This is my favorite lettuce by far. I just love it. It's pretty and it's good. Again, hard to say name. Lettuce furlenschillis. There you go.
But
hold this up there so you can see it.
A lot of people like this Merlot lettuce.
Let me see it. Let me see Merlot. Yeah. That's okay too, and I think that'll work now that I have the salad spinner. It's really soft, that Merlot lettuce, and it was kind of got slimy on us, but now that I got my salad spinner, I think that'll work.
Woohoo!
Okay. Few other things I'm gonna pop in the back garden. Radishes. I've heard a lot of people talking about roasting radishes. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't love radishes just fresh. They're kind of hot to me. I've never loved them. My mom used to put them in salads when I was a kid, and I just didn't like them. But I'm gonna give them a go. And I'm going to try roasting some and doing some different things other than just eating them fresh. If you got recipes for that, let me know.
Experimenting.
We're going to experiment with a couple different kinds of beets. Here's some green ones and some red ones. All from Baker Creek. I'm going to experiment with these because beet greens are really good and really good for you. And I'm going to grow these beets. And I'm going to grow them, I might have already said this, but in the back where the billboard is. I cannot remember that name. I'm also, back to peppers, going to grow this chocolate bell pepper. Okay. Few other things in the back.
I'm going to find the one thing. There's the lemon squash. If you haven't ever grown lemon squash, it's a must.
They grow really well. Like, they produce a lot and for a long time. And they did not get as buggy as other squash we've grown. They did really well with that. And that's the golden zucchini.
I showed them.
It's beautiful. Okay. Also in the back, kohlrabi. We only started growing this a couple, 3 or 4 years ago. But it's really good. I like it. The greens are edible. I've eaten those too. They grow really well. We've got a purple and a green variety, both from Baker Creek. One of them is called Early Purple Vienna, and one's called Super Schmeltz.
Super what?
Super Schmeltz.
Super what?
I'm sure that's not how you say it. Okay, all these things are going in the back. But here's the deal. I'm going to have to utilize this garden space, so when things in the back get done, they'll have to come out and something else go in. That's just how it has to work around here for us to grow enough. Okay?
These are things I'm planting. Melons. Love watermelons. This variety right here. This variety grew a 72-pound watermelon last year, and it was delicious. What was that? We did a video on that, right?
I don't know. I think we did.
I think so.
I think
if we did, it's going to be linked right up there.
Because Lane broke my bathroom scales weighing that thing. Okay. Last thing for the back is going to be, I'm going to plant some rutabagas and I'm going to plant some cabbages back there. The cabbages aren't any like special super variety I have to share with you. I just get them from Baker Creek. I get the big ones. I get, I think they're called Glory of something. Here it is.
What?
Glory of Ankuzen. I'm butchering these, I'm sorry. And then I'm going to grow some red cabbage. So that's what I'm going to grow, and I'm going to also grow some Chinese cabbage. We love these.
Chinese cabbage.
And I made, what was this stuff called? Kimchi. That's what it's called. Thank you. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. So out front is our second garden, and now our greenhouse is taking up part of that. But it's long rows that he uses this tiller hiller, and it's like a row crop garden. So that's where I will grow green beans, and I'm gonna grow Romas. Got these from Baker Creek. You can get bigger packages if you don't know that than just these little ones. I got this when we went up there, and this is half a pound. So that was quite a bit. So I will grow, how long are those rows been out front?
150 feet.
150 feet. I'll grow one of those for me, and my mom will grow one. And then if she gets enough and gets tired of them, I'll pick both rows. But I've got 2 teenage helpers that help me pick, or it'd be a lot of picking.
Helpers or laborers?
Employees. So, anyway, that's where we'll grow 2 rows of green beans, one for them, one for us. I always grow me a row of black beans, and they usually do too. I grow a row of pinto beans, and they grow a row of, they call them horticulture beans. They're like pink. They're called horticulture beans.
We love the black beans.
Yes, we love black beans.
We got started on them, what, 4, 5 years ago?
And actually, I've just planted those from store-bought black beans.
Not.
I know. I should buy them from a plant and seed company, but that's what I've done to this point. They grow like nuts. And if you have a pea sheller, they're about the size of a pea, so it makes it super easy. I know that's cheap.
We'll have to show you that. Oh.
Yeah, we'll have to film the pea sheller. His uncle made it.
Oh, it's amazing.
We're going to make us one. But anyway, so that's where all the row crops will go. We're going to get, we haven't grown corn in a few years, but we're growing corn this year. And we're going to grow, these are from Baker Creek, Golden Bantam 12 row and Striped Japonica. Okay, we're going to grow corn.
I wish that I had some Danny corn.
From Deep South?
Mm-hmm.
Can you get it, or is it a secret?
I don't know. Might have to find that out.
Okay.
March.
So, let's move on to the other garden, which is over between our goat fence and our new rotational grazing fence we built. Okay, so that's where our viney things are going to go, like loofah gourds. This past year, I only got 1 to grow, although I planted more than that. But
I would start out with a 6-pack myself.
Yeah. You could always like pluck them up. I know that's painful to do, but you could. But 1 plant, and you know that's true for you. You say you're going to plant 5,000 of something, and then I can just take like 3 and you'll just discard the rest. You never discard. Anyway.
Always might have to put them in a hole.
Back to this subject. One plant made like 50 loofah gourds. It was a lot, okay? Also, that's where he showed you the watermelons already, but that is where watermelons are gonna go, cantaloupe, the green honeydew melon, those kinds of things.
Sugar pie pumpkins.
Yes, I love those. If you haven't tried these are the best pumpkins for cooking with. If you're gonna can pumpkin, those grew really well here. So did the cantaloupe. So all that's going over there, along with winter squash and things like that have vines and run everywhere, because that's really hard to keep in our main garden and keep it anywhere near cleaned up.
Where are you gonna put the sweet potatoes? Over there?
Sweet potatoes, that's a good question. Also over there, I'm probably gonna have to plant white potatoes, and I'm probably gonna have to plant sweet potatoes.
You just run out a lot of room.
I know it. So we're going to have to see how all this plays out. I may have to move white potatoes back over to the other front garden that has the long 150-foot rows, because I need probably a couple rows of white potatoes. Yeah.
What about onions?
Yeah, that's probably going to go over with the loofahs and all that stuff on the other side. Okay? So on the viney side is probably going to have onions in it too. I'm telling y'all, I don't exactly know how this is all going to play out yet, because we're going to have to just stick stuff everywhere. Then on top of that, y'all have seen my little herb beds out front where I harvested sweet potatoes. I just harvested broccoli in there the other night. Well, I've got a whole stack of herbs and flowers here. Okay, so I'm growing a ton of herbs like hyssop, bee balm, lemon balm, cilantro, lavender, calendula flowers for like tincturing and stuff. Just all kinds of stuff. Plantain.
Already have some cilantro. I was being cheap the other day. Huh?
Stevia?
No. I was being cheap the other day and reused some seed starting soil. I just flipped it over and planted a little bit of lettuce and bok choy in there, I think it was. After I picked that, I started noticing cilantro sprouting up. So I think I've got you probably like 12.
Good, I love cilantro.
12 cilantro plants that's already about that big.
Okay, then I've never even showed y'all this, but I will one day. I have 3 tractor tires that I've tried growing strawberries and herbs in at different times. Really, one of them's just now full of mint because it just took over everything. Actually, 2 of them, I think.
Mint and garlic.
So I'm actually going to plant those full of something. I may plant those, one of my herb beds, and those 3 things full of sweet potatoes. I don't know, but I really need more sweet potatoes than that, so I'm not sure.
You're probably going to do a row.
And then I have one more bed, and it's right below our bathroom window. It's a really good back to Eden bed because we've piled it full of leaves and debris and different things, compost. It's just really good. It doesn't grow a ton of grass and weeds. It used to, but it doesn't anymore. I'm going to fill that puppy full of different kinds of carrots, which we really need to have planted like yesterday.
Or last month.
Right.
I think Danny's was already about that tall.
We're going to plant those probably ASAP. But I'm going to be doing Atomic Reds. Danvers are our #1 for around here because we have kind of sandy soil.
Sandy clay.
Sandy clay. These just do really good because they're not super long, but they get really fat, and I really like them. Ox hearts and black nebulas. So that's the kind of carrots we're going to be planting.
She didn't say nothing about cauliflower, but we stink at growing cauliflower.
No, but I bet it would grow good like right now because my broccoli's doing awesome with no worms.
So you're saying I can sprout some?
No, I don't need to plant it now. I should have planted it in the fall.
Oh, okay.
We could try it now, but turnips, turnip greens, peas, like purple hull peas and sugar snaps and all that, all of those things are going to be worked in too. So you can see we have huge plans. All these things are going to have a spot. So we're going to have to probably get it all prepared and then see how much room there is and then make a plan depending on exactly how many rows we have once we get it all laid out.
You know what's crazy? We ain't even got the Baker Creek book out and ordered this year's seeds.
No.
That's what we're going through right now, trying to figure out what we're low on, what we need to reorder.
Pretty much not much. Plus, we save seeds. I have frozen seeds out there, like tomatoes frozen. Mm-hmm. We've sprouted seeds that way. Just take a tomato we picked off the vine and froze.
Yep, whole tomato.
it was super easy to save and it works. So I mean, we got tons of seeds everywhere saved. My loofah gourds are full of seeds. I've got a loofah pack here, but if you need some loofah seeds, I could probably share with you.
You don't have many in that.
Especially if I'm going to see you somewhere this spring, I wouldn't mind at all to give you a few seeds.
Or I could sprout you some.
Right. Can't mail those though.
No, but if you're going to be here at the meetup, you could let me know. Say, hey, I want some loofah gourds. I can get them sprouted.
All right, so that is our plans. And hopefully while we're sprouting our seeds, Ben is going to sprout some extra and have some plants for sale at the April meetup.
Yep.
We have some big plans for the April meetup. I have tons of kombucha scobies. So I'm really strongly considering having kombucha for sale, like pint jars of kombucha.
Think anybody be interested in buying kombucha?
I sell the kits, like a SCOBY in a gallon jar with your starter tea and instructions for $25. I've sold quite a few of those, which I bought my SCOBY online for $25. All I got was a SCOBY.
Just the SCOBY.
So I feel like that's an okay deal because you're getting the whole, you're ready to go. You're set up and ready to go, and yours is fresh and thriving. So I might have some kits for sale.
What about soap?
I've got tons of soap.
You don't sell any?
Yes.
Don't sell soap at the April meetup.
Just simply because that'll take us 10 years to use as much as I got made. All right. That's our garden plan, some of our spring plans. Thanks for hanging with us. I hope we didn't bore you to tears, but that is our huge plans. That's how we grow food for our family year round. And we've been doing that for several years now and have a pretty good grasp on how much it takes to get us through the winter. And when I mean we grow all our food, like we even grow all our potatoes. I can't tell you the last time I bought a bag of potatoes because we'll grow them and we'll store them and then we'll plant another fall crop. And by the time the fall crop is harvested and we're putting it up, the spring crop might have some sprouts on it, and then we'll just let them sprout like crazy, and then
throw them in the ground.
Right. The next spring, we're planting those.
Same thing with our sweet potatoes. We got sweet potatoes ready to make slips. And a pencil.
In one of the kids' pencils. Okay. But that's how we do it. When things want to sprout, that's just the way God made it, to make more plants. So we just take those and replant them. We haven't bought seed potatoes in a long time.
Probably 3 years.
We just plant our own potatoes. We grow enough that if we have too many, we don't feel pressured. We have to use those. We're wasting. We just replant them. And I mean, I don't cut them or anything. I just put them in there with they may have a sprout on them this long, and I just leave that much sticking above the ground. It's worked like a charm several times now. So I've read where that won't work. It does. That's just how we do it. And we grow enough to feed us and really my parents too, pretty much year round. Give us a like, give us a thumbs up, a comment. If you comment on any of the stuff we're growing, if you've got good varieties we should be growing or good recipes for like pickled okra or something.
Or if you're coming to the meetup and you specifically want something, I don't know how to say that right. I'll try to grow it.
Right. If you're going to be looking for some specific plants, let us know and we'll try to have some of those for sale.
If
you want a kombucha kit or anything like that. I may have some sourdough kits, just whatever I think people will be interested in. And I don't mind to do it at all. I love that kind of thing. Might have some herbal tinctures because I'm studying on herbs right now.
It was crazy oil lady, now it's getting into crazy herb lady.
Well, they go hand in hand.
Oh.
All right, we're going to wrap this up. Thanks for watching. We love you guys, and we will see you next week.
God bless.